technology that is built for your every sense. Acer Pure from Acer.
Well, let's begin with the pictures that have been shared by the Prime Minister himself, as both the leaders, when we speak of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Japanese counterpart, Prime Minister Ishiba, have shared pictures from the ride on a bullet train. As far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a bullet train ride with his Japanese counterpart on the second day of his visit to Japan and met with the train drivers currently who are trading on the East Japan Railway Company as well. As the both Prime Ministers will be now heading to Japan's Sendai city, as the Japanese Prime Minister also sharing pictures from his ride, where he said that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Sendai, as continuing from last night, I will be with you in the car. As far as when it comes to observing what they are now looking at, bullet train, and of course when it comes to how it will now be taking up this latest ride to India is also concerned. Well, Shinjoy, good morning. This is something that automatically comes to one's mind. When we talk or speak or mention Japan, it means bullet train.
Undoubtedly, and very soon, the bullet train will also be associated with India, because there is a Gujarat-Maharashtra line that is being worked on, and once that is ready, it will be easier to get from Ahmedabad to Mumbai than by taking a flight. So all this is part of this entire India-Japan friendship package that is being worked on, because it's not just the bullet train, it's not just semiconductors, it's not just a joint space mission, it's not just jointly going to the South Pole. There is a lot happening with Japan and India, and that includes the Indian investment in India, because the Japanese also see this as a win-win situation. The Japanese know that their population growth has actually come down to virtually zero. In fact, the total population of Japan could begin to decline in about 5 years. So what happens then? All these big Japanese firms that want markets, where they see India as a market, and if India has to be a market, they have to make in India, and that means India's growth potential increases, India's employment opportunities go up, and it will not just be make in India, it will be make for the world.
Absolutely. And as Prime Minister says that the entire world is now counting on India, sharing pictures of when it comes to several Indian train drivers as well who are currently trading in Japan, with GREs lined up also to greet Prime Minister Narendra Modi prior to his bullet train ride. And as far as pictures that are being shared by the Prime Minister, who met with the drivers and also posed with them for the pictures as well. Let's in the meantime also talk about the messages that are now being shared of his second day of his visit to Japan, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi's interaction with the National Governors Association, and taking greater strides when it comes to steadily progressing with the ties between India and Japan. Let's put out what Mr. Randhir Jaiswal has to say, the Ministry of External Affairs, that has been continuously putting out updates when it comes to the Prime Minister's second day of Japan visit, where he has posted this message saying that taking greater strides in the steadfast India-Japan ties. Prime Minister Modi met with the governors of the 16 prefectures in Tokyo. Prime Minister highlighted the potential of states prefectures collaboration, and in this regard has urged action against the State Prefecture Partnership Initiative that was launched during the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit for Shared Progress. Discussions focused on ways to further deepen the growing partnership between Indian states and Japanese prefectures in fields of technology, innovation, investment, skills, startups, and the SMEs. So when we speak of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as far as earlier, the Prime Minister met with the governors of the 16 prefectures of Japan in Tokyo, and during this interaction, the Prime Minister highlighted the potential of state prefectures collaboration, and in this regard urged action against under the State Prefecture Partnership Initiative that has been launched during the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit for Shared Progress. As this update that has also been shared by the MEA, because they go on to add that there is immense scope to cooperate in areas like trade, innovation, entrepreneurship, and more futuristic sectors as well to enjoy that they say like startups, tech, and AI can also be beneficial.
Undoubtedly. I mean, here is a real partnership. Here are two countries that have very strong points, and therefore they can collaborate and benefit, both can benefit from each other. So there is no doubt, and there does not have to be a Delhi-Tokyo kind of axis. It can be anywhere. It can be any prefecture in Japan allying itself with a state in India, and that would be an ideal situation. For instance, Tamil Nadu, which is very well known for its automobile industry. You have the Japanese great firms like Toyota and Honda. So all of these things can work very well. And there are new technologies like quantum computing, like artificial intelligence. All these areas, India and Japan can work together very successfully.
Absolutely. And when we speak of Asia, we talk about the world leadership that also finds a mention when it comes to the growing economy of India, as the Prime Minister was mentioning yesterday in his address. But also when it comes to his Japanese counterpart, we are looking at a packed day ahead of the Prime Minister before he departs for China. Let's talk about the second leg of the Prime Minister's visit now abroad, where India seems to be standing tall against the tariff bullying from the Trump administration. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has sent out a strong message from Tokyo, while speaking at the India-Japan Economic Forum on Thursday, the Prime Minister said, on Friday rather, the Prime Minister said that India's growth is being watched closely and that the world is counting on India as a springboard for global growth acceleration. Now, the global geopolitical order dominated by the West so far is now being challenged, and the world is now bullish on countries like India and in particular the global South.
आज भारत दुनिया की फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी है। हम बहुत जल्द दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने वाले हैं। एक्सपर्ट कह रहे हैं कि दुनिया की ग्रोथ में भारत का कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत जल्द करीब 20% होने जा रहा है। ये ग्रोथ, ये रेजिलियंस जो हम भारत की इकोनॉमी में देख रहे हैं, इसके पीछे बीते एक दशक में भारत में आई मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी है।
So let's in the meantime talk you through when it comes to India-Japan trade that has stood between April 2024 and January 2025, where exactly when it comes to progress that is now been seen between Japan-India trade ties, a total that is now amounting to nearly $21 billion US. When Indian exports are now concerned, where does that stand? It stands at around $5.1 US billion. And on the other side, when we speak of Indian import from Japan, it currently stands at $15.9 billion US. But also speaking of the biggest investment that has been made now by Japan to